we hear how cybersecurity is the most important thing to a company because once a company is breached, it's a wrap. They lose all credibility. It could be either a cybersecurity threat, it could be a software bug, whatever it is, but if it is bad enough, it will be the end of that company. However, how is it possible that companies are drowning in software security debt? Say it ain't so, say it ain't so. We are going to investigate this today. Welcome to the episode of The Bug Bite, hosted by your truly tech coach, Ralph, where we are engineered to win. We are going to be jumping into this article to see why are companies so burdened by software security debt. You would think this would be at the top of their list, the top priority, yet they are still drowning in that debt. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it to see what the hell is going on with these companies and their security, okay? So this article is brought to us by our good friend John Layden over at CSO Online. It reads, companies are drowning in high risk software security debt and the breach outlook is getting worse. It's getting worse, y'all. It is getting worse. So let's read together what the heck is going on over here. Okay. So it says that unresolved security debt is leaving organizations at greater risk of breaches as fixed time grows longer and the software ecosystem increasingly complexifies. What a word, complexifies. That's an awesome word, I must say. Organizations are taking longer to fix security flaws in their software, and the security debt involved is becoming increasingly critical as a result. According to application security vendor Vericode's latest software security report, the average fixed time for security flaws has increased from 171 days to 252 days over the past 5 years. So we're going from 171 is about 6 months, now to 252, about 100 days less than a year. And if you know anything about software development and about security, 171 days already is a death sentence, but now we're increasing it to 252 days, almost 100 days more than what it used to take over the past 5 years. You would think the goal is to reduce the 171 days to maybe like 30 days, but yet we are increasing it. We are increasing it to 252 days over the past 5 years. You would think would be doing better, right? It says, moreover, 50% of organizations now carry high-risk security debt defined as accumulated flaws left open for longer than a year. The majority of these flaws originate from third-party code and the software supply chain, an ongoing source of considerable risk despite increasing attention. So basically what's happening here is you have software from other parties. It's not software that you create yourself, and you are dependent on them updating their systems in order for you to update your system. But if they do not update their systems, then you become at risk, and it's like you are using their application, their software code, and they might have a loophole in there which actually opens you up, right? So, and there's only so much you can do. There's only so much that you can do. Although the 50% figure from 2025 is only marginally from 46% on high-risk security debt from 2024 edition of Vericode's annual study, the finding is still concerning because the figure is trending in the wrong direction. It also indicates that the number of organizations carrying high-risk security debt increased by nearly 10% over the past year. Chris Weisselpaul, co-founder and chief security evangelist at Vericode, told CSO that one aspect of application security that has gotten progressively worse over the years is the time it takes to fix flaws. The one that you think that we should be focusing on the most is the one that is getting progressively worse, all right? There are many reasons for this, but the ever-growing scope of complexity of the software ecosystem is the core issue, Weisselpaul said. Organizations have more applications and vastly more code to keep on top of, and this will only increase as more teams adopt AI for code generation, which it's the best of times and it's the worst of times. You can get stuff done faster with AI, but is AI going to keep your code base secure? That is something that we need to figure out. An issue compounded by the potential security implications of AI generated code across in-house software and third-party dependencies alike. And you got to understand, with software development, it's not like you're always developing the code completely from scratch. You have packages that you're importing, whether you're using Python, Java, C#, JavaScript with Node and stuff like that. You're always importing packages from another location. So it makes it it makes it so easy for another package to be at risk and not be updated, and then now you don't update it, or they might have updated theirs, but you didn't know about it. You don't update it soon enough because it might cause some backward compatibility issues, and now you are SOL. All right, so applying risk reduction and security maturity strategies. Vericode's study found marked differences in how organizations manage security debt, with big gaps between the best and worst performers. According to Vericode, 5 key metrics offer a mean to gauge security maturity and ways to improve an organization's ability to systematically reduce risk. So let's go through these 5 real quick, right? So flaw prevalence. Leading organizations have flaws in fewer than 43% of applications, while lagging organizations exceed 86%. You might as well just say 90, right? Fixed capacity. Leaders resolve 10% of flaws monthly, whereas laggards, that's not very nice. Laggards address less than 1%. Okay, it's fair. If it's only less than 1%, then it's fair not to be very nice. Fixed speed. Top performers remediate half of flaws in 5 weeks, lower performing organizations take longer than a whole entire year. Yep, they're laggards. Security debt prevalence. Less than 17% of applications in leading organizations carry security debt, compared with more than 67% in lagging ones. Open source debt. Leading organizations keep open source critical debt under 15%, whereas 100% of critical debt is open source in lagging organizations. Basically, with open source, pretty much free software that anybody can use, and anybody can also update it. And as there are patches that come out for these open source, the leading organizations, they get it wrapped up very, very quickly. They keep it under 15%, while the laggards are at 100% critical debt. They just don't care. Steps to improve security maturity include enhancing visibility and integration across the software development lifecycle, using automation and feedback loops to prevent new security flaws. Vericode further argues that organizations should prioritize correlating and contextualizing security findings in a single view, right? Because most organizations suffer from fragmented visibility over the software flaws and risks within their applications, with sprawling tool sets that create alert fatigue at the same time as silos of data to interpret and make decisions about. Weissapal said, the key factor that helps them address the security backlog are the ability to prioritize remediation and flaw based on risk. Vericode's study is based on finding about 1.3 million, yes, I said million, unique applications that were subjected to a combination of static analysis, dynamic analysis, software composition analysis, and or manual penetration testing through Vericode's cloud-based platform. Software packages put through their paces came from companies of all sizes, commercial software suppliers, software outsourcers, and open source projects. All right, so let's continue. It says supply chain risk. On open source security debt, specifically, application security firm Black Duck reports that an analysis of 965 commercial code bases across 16 industries found that 86% of commercial code bases contain open source software vulnerabilities, and 81% contain high or critical risk vulnerabilities. That is a lot, especially for these commercial code bases, because guess what? If you sign up for one of these commercial code bases and you put your trust in there, and now because they have outdated open source software, they didn't properly update and patch, now your data gets hacked. Guess what's going to happen, right? You can blame that company as much as you want, but you are going to be held accountable by your customer base, because guess what? They didn't put their data into those commercial code bases. They put their data into your software, and your software is hacked regardless of the reason, regardless of whose fault it was, right? Because they did, for all intents and purposes, the customer has no idea what all open source data, all open source libraries that you're using. Okay, because eight of the top 10 high-risk vulnerabilities covered in Black Duck's open source security and risk analysis report were found in jQuery. Fair enough, a widely used JavaScript library. The most frequently found high-risk vulnerability was CVE 2020 11023, an XSS cross-scripting vulnerability affecting outdated version of jQuery, but still present in a third of scanned code bases. So these code bases are not updating their version of jQuery, and that's going to cause a lot of problems, right? The supply chain risk from vulnerabilities that originate from third-party and open source code can be mitigated by consistently scanning code throughout the software development lifecycle. Veracode advises enterprises should modernize their operations to ensure updating, testing, and deploying a new version of custom application as efficient as possible. And there are ways that you can automatically update these packages and run tests against them. Like you can run your unit tests, your automated API tests, your automated front end tests, and everything passes. You should be clean to deploy. With very, very minimal human intervention. That is a practice that a lot of companies do to stay up to date, but there are still a lot of companies who have not adopted that practice, and they are the ones who put all their customers at risk. Okay. Because software composition analysis, SCA, achieves this by detecting and managing the risk of third-party and open source software components through an automated process. YSQL says it generates software bills of material, SBOM, scans for vulnerabilities, assesses risk, and provides remediation guidance. Debt reduction program. By addressing security debt and leveraging best practices, businesses can enhance resilience, reduce risk, and comply with evolving cybersecurity regulations, according to Veracode. The application security specialist offers a rundown of factors that helps develop an effective strategy for reducing security debt. And just what I was just saying right now. Automated testing. Integrate SAST. I don't know what these abbreviations stand for, but automated testing, that is my bread and butter. DAST, SCA, and other automated testing frameworks into CI/CD to catch flaws early. And that can pretty much help you with the whole deployment cycle, right? Risk-based policies focus on easily exploitable, high-severity flaws and enforce strict no-ship standards. That's fair. You don't ship if there's something that even gives you the hint of exploitability, right? It says empower developers, provide training, designate security champions, and treat security tasks like normal dev work. I 100% agree with that. We need to be more focused on empowering our developers to be more security minded. An accountability culture. Track vulnerabilities alongside functional bugs and fix them as they appear. I totally agree with that too. The vulnerabilities should be just like any other functional bug, where if we see something is outdated, we should create a story for it, and we should get that taken care of in the very, very near future, preferably in the very next sprint. Open source oversight, maintain a clear inventory of libraries, update them regularly, and automate checks. Very good as well. Discipline. While researchers help, coherent strategy and strong processes matter more. Even small teams, if well aligned and disciplined, often outperform larger ones with weaker performance. Totally agree with my guy, John Layden, a senior writer at CSO Online. But with that being said, we're going to get back over to our full screen to wrap it up for today. And there you have it, folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you going through this article with me. This is a very, very serious issue. It is not good that we put our customers at risk because we are falling behind on our security protocols. It is essential that we protect our customers at all costs, because guess what? If we do not, then what's going to come next is going to be a lot worse for us, where we will be bleeding customers left and right. And we do not want to be putting, and not to mention lawsuits will follow if we are exposing our customers' data. We're not protecting them, all of that good stuff. So with the lawsuits come, and we lose our customer, we lose our company, we lose our jobs. So like John Layden said here, we have to be more security minded. We need to empower developers. We need to implement these automated testing workflows, all of that good stuff, so we can be very, very successful. All right. But with that being said, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Do me a big favor on your way out. If you haven't done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so you know every time we go live and drop new content, as well as go to techcoachralph.dev where you can sign up to work with me one-on-one. I still have a few slots available where we can work together. I will help you get to that next level, as well as you can sign up for exclusive content where I share my sprint reviews, I share my Scrum nights, I share my thoughts, and you can join the Team Tech with Drop Discord where we are doing amazing things in there. We're learning Python. We are exploring DevOps and stuff like that, where we have a community that's growing, where we are helping each other grow in this tech space. All right. But with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful, wonderful weekend. This is Tech Coach Ralph with another episode of the Bug Bite. We are out.
Caught in a glitch. What's the fix this time? Chasing down bugs, oh it feels like a crime. Every software tale got a story to tell. In the world of tech, it's a digital swell. Watch us dive deep in lines of code, finding the truth on this heavy load. Welcome to the Bug Bite, we unveil the fight. In a world of software, we'll shine the light. From errors to dangers, we'll guide your way. Stay tuned for the scoop every single day. Cyber shadows lurk in the data stream. Hacking our dreams, is it all just a scheme? From the latest news to the viral threat, we break it all down, you ain't seen nothing yet. With every bug found, we take a stance. Join in the rhythm, give tech a chance. Welcome to the Bug Bite, we unveil the fight. In a world of software, we'll shine the light. From errors to dangers, we'll guide your way. Stay tuned for the scoop every single day. Hit the subscribe, don't miss out the fun. Together we'll conquer one bug at a run. From errors to dangers, we'll guide your way. Stay tuned for the scoop every single day. So hit that subscribe, don't miss out the fun. Together we'll conquer one bug at a run.